What's up? Can it be us? Did the Giants do enough to flip this script? The Giants have a tremendous offseason. You gotta love the draft they had. You know, there's like 1% of the fan base that finds a way to be a sour grape. It is what it is. Did the Giants flip the script? Or will it take one more year? Don't curb your excitement. This team has formed into a team that I believe is going to make some hay in the NFC East. The Giants have built a defensive line, and including the secondary, with the free agent pickups, Debo, Holland, right? Chansey. With the drafts of Carter and a beast, to me, a stud Alexander. Put next to Dexter Lawrence. You get a little rotation going now. This is a fierce defensive line, arguably the best in the league. We got to see it play on the field, but right now you can only judge from what it is right now. A defense that has been stacked together to face teams like the Eagles and Washington's offenses, especially the Eagles. Because I'm one that, Washington had a great year last year. Show it to me again. How many times have we seen teams have a big year early and come back in their second year and just, not lived up to what they gave you in the first year? Many times in history in the NFL, especially with a young quarterback. So, I'm not going to put Washington down. On paper, they're a talented team. Let me see it again. Did Houston not flip the script quick? Did Washington not flip the script quick? Why can't the Giants? Why? Because we've had 10 bad years? Well, Washington's had 20 bad years. The Texans are still relatively a new team to the league. It's been a bunch of years for them. But they're formidable now. Maybe better than that. Look. It's no shock to me. I literally expected it to be Abdul Carter 3, come back into the first round and grab a Dart or a Milroe. And the guy they got, to me, fits the Giants just right. And that's mostly because the head coach handpicked him himself. And it's about damn time. So, with the defense the Giants are loading up, and it's going to be the type of defense that's going to give the Eagles O-line and running game with Barkley a problem. Trust me. Those 2 games this year are going to be different than any 2 games the Giants played the Eagles in a decade. The Giants are making steps towards that Eagle-Giant rivalry we saw when we were winning Super Bowls and the years leading into that. When Ala, Shockey, and the Eagles defense used to go to war. Brian Dawkins, Shockey. You remember those days. Strahan, Runyon. We're making our way back to that. It's exciting. I can't wait. And even when the Giants were bad, they always found a way to win a game versus Washington. So there's no reason for me not to believe that we can't split those games. And we were literally a play away in each of those games last year. And we were garbage. But the Giants are no longer garbage. Anyone who doesn't want to acknowledge what Joe Schoen has done this offseason and in this draft this past weekend, let me tell you something. Carter, Jackson, Dart, which I'm a complete believer in. I've been a believer in him for like a year. But for the last 5 months, and I took pushback for it. It's cool. We got to see it. I get it. That kid's got all the moxie, all the tools to be a damn franchise quarterback on a young rising team in a cold environment in the Northeast. And I'm a believer. Alexander, to me, was a steal. You got another monster in the middle of the D-line, and now it's time to stop the run. And I said it before, I say it again. Now that we'll be able to stop the run, I'm thinking potentially you will see a much bigger season out of Kayvon Thibodeaux, and I am so happy we kept him. A 3-man rotation that's on one of the highest levels in football, and a strong secondary. And I believe now with the secondary you have with Newman and Holland at safeties, and a real good cover corner on the other side, I believe Banks is going to step back up like you saw in his first year. He's working hard in the gym. He's busting his ass. He's doing all the right things. And I think you're going to see a more mature, focused kid with some leadership to guide him. Finally, leadership. The Giants are potentially one of the best defenses in football. It could potentially be dominant. It may take time. You put together a run game with Tracy, and now you got an absolute bully. A bully in Scatterable. And the whole fan base is excited about him. Yo, you got other fan bases that are excited about Scatterable with the Giants because it reminds you of old school Giants football, a la Bradshaw Jacobs, a la Rodney Hampton. Even when we had Bunch at fullback and Tiki at running back. Charles Way. Bullies. We've always had bullies. Physical guys that do not look to run around you. They actually go out of their way to run tracks right over you. And we got a guy back in the building. He's a pure, physical, blue-collar football player that does it all. And most of all, he's going to put the attitude back in this offense. That when you come play the Giants this year, it ain't going to be practice no more. There's going to be a full, exciting building, loud, because this fan base is hungry. And you're going to be up against a team, regardless, win or lose. You're going to be in for a physical, grind it out, punch you in the face football game for 4 quarters this year. I truly believe it. And if you run the ball and you play the defense and you keep the other teams in the division's offenses off the field a little more, time of possession, ground game, and then you got the play action threats with Neighbors, Slayton, Wandell. The Giants have a chance, and they wouldn't have to score 30 a game because teams ain't going to be scoring that on us. It's exciting. We all know what the potential is. You be realistic, probably 2026 is when the Giants are really going to become the team to make noise. You got to give a young team a year to grow. But I think, and it's one of the hardest schedules in the league, and I'm going to tell you what I've told everyone. That shit does not scare me. Because to me, when you let the young, growing team play the best teams in the league, adversity is going to make you or break you. I'd rather play the best and get battle tested as the season goes on and gets better and better, because it's going to make this team so much stronger towards the end of the year and going into 2026 rather than playing the bottom crap of the league. You also don't know in a season what team's going to be banged up, what's going to affect the team, what things are not going right. Things play out. Hey, for the first time in a decade, you could be exciting about the Giants this year. I think the building's going to be packed. And I think the Giants are going to show up against this schedule this year. And look, man, let's be honest. If the Giants win 7 or 8 games against this schedule, but show you major growth going towards 26 with another draft and a lot of money in the offseason, let's be realistic. The train's going north for the first time in years. There's a direction. There's an identity. The physical, old school, punch you in the face Giants, led by their defense and having a ground game. And you got a quarterback in the building who's won a Super Bowl and knows how to manage a game, and he's not going to turn the game over. And you got a kid who gets to sit behind Russell Wilson, sit next to Winston, be brought up by Dable, despite all the criticism. I don't care what anyone says, understands how to raise a quarterback. Got his guy that he wanted. Joe Schoen went back in the first and said, I'm getting Dable the guy he wanted. The guy who's interviewed through the process perfectly, carried himself like a leader, a hungry player who's been said doesn't leave the facility at Ole Miss till 10:30, 11 at night, 7 days a week. And there's no way you don't like the type of arm this kid has. The ability to run. He shows leadership. He shows alpha. None of the things that people didn't like about Daniel Jones. Shy, quiet. Now, this guy, the type of guy that's going to get in any player's face, an offensive lineman, and fucking chew him out if they ain't playing the game right. Hey. Can the Giants flip the script? I'll tell you what. You let Joe Schoen and Brian Dable cook for a couple more years. The Giants are headed straight north. To me, Joe Schoen flipped the script this weekend. Because Joe Schoen had a future-altering draft. I'm The Miz.